There's going to be a huge weekend for baseball. Good morning. Welcome to another episode of Heartfelt Radio. Appreciate you for joining us on this Friday. This is the show that values time, so let's not waste any. Baseball. We started off with a rant this week, but it's okay. We have made it to the playoffs, and so far, baseball is 3 for 3. 3 amazing nights of baseball. The AL wild card, Red Sox, Yankees. The NL wild card, Dodgers and Cardinals, both great games. And then you follow it up with 2 other really strong series, Astros, White Sox, the Rays, and the Red Sox. And then you're going to have Brewers and Braves, as well as Giants and Dodgers. This is going to be a huge week for baseball to test popularity. And I think baseball's got a chance. I think baseball really has a chance this weekend to still stand out and prove it is still one of the major sports in America and at any given time can control the sports world. Think about the series that are going to go on this weekend. You have, in the American League, the most controversial team in probably all of baseball, and that's the Houston Astros, going up against the Chicago White Sox, who, if not, are probably the most culturally relevant team. If you understand the impact that Chicago has on the South Side, if you understand Tim Anderson and what he's meant to baseball and what he's meant, not just meant to baseball, but what he's meant culturally the last few years. So I got a cultural dynamic. I have a controversial dynamic. I have 2 teams that have been great the past couple years. That's a fantastic series. Storylines will write themselves. Game 1 was a bit of a blowout. I don't expect that to be the entirety of the series. I do have the Astros winning the series, but these will be some great games. In controversy, it sells. The Astros are controversial. Then you go over to the other AL series, the Tampa Bay Rays versus the Red Sox. The Red Sox are, I don't know, one of the 3 or 4 most iconic franchises in the sport. That kind of goes for something, right? And then you have the Tampa Bay Rays, who are Moneyball to its highest degree, defending American League champions, chance to go back to the World Series, as well run as any organization in sports. These are storylines. These are headlines. Once again, a blowout in Game 1. I don't expect that to be the entirety of the series. I obviously believe / am rooting for Tampa Bay to win, but these are really good series. These are strong candidates to be, hey, what is everyone watching at this given point in time? Those are series that people are going to want to watch. Then move over to the National League side. The first series ever to have 2 teams that won 105 plus games in the regular season. Exclude the World Series. This is an NLDS that's going to have 106 game winner LA and 107 game winner San Francisco. The 2 best teams in baseball playing off against each other to start off the postseason. These are one of those series that qualifies as might be better than the actual World Series itself, depending on who gets there. These are 2 juggernauts, the 2 best records in baseball. You obviously know what LA brings. You know what San Francisco, who is overachieved, a lot of people in a lot of people's minds, but still a lot of talent on that club. Same division rivalry, historical franchises, World Series over the last 20 years, multiple World Series in the Giants' case over the last 20 years. Those are games that have a chance for everybody in the sports world to be looking at and go, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch this. Eyes glued. Huge weekend for baseball. Now, baseball is also helped out by the fact, not a huge weekend for NFL games. This is one of those weeks where, yes, if you're a fan of a specific team, you're obviously going to be your normal excited. You're going to sit down Sunday, watch your game. But there's not a whole lot of huge games. Like, think about it. Denver-Baltimore was a big game. Was Denver as good as a 3-0 record? Or were the Ravens going to come and improve? They're not that good. I don't know if you heard this guy named Tom Brady. He kind of went back to this place called New England after being there for 20 years. Kind of a big deal. LA Chargers and Las Vegas Raiders on Monday night. Are the Raiders as good as their 3-0 record? How good is Justin Herbert? Primetime game. There was just a lot more big games, big moments in last week. Whereas this week, Chiefs Bills? There's going to be a huge weekend for baseball. Segueing from that, we are going to the ticket. It's Friday, meaning 4 games we're picking and then 1 golden ticket game. First game, Philly at Carolina. Carolina's a 3.5-point favorite. Take Carolina with the points. Carolina's going to be back at home. They're going to be pissed off. They just came off a loss. Sam Darnold has still been really good inside this offense. Still a little reckless turnovers. I don't think that'll matter as much against a team like Philadelphia, whose defense just flat out is not very good. Philly's offense is not as good as I think they showed last week. I think Kansas City's defense is just that bad. I got Carolina winning 31-17 over Philadelphia. New Orleans Saints at Washington football team. New Orleans is a 1.5 point favorite. Take Washington football team with the point, so plus 1.5. Taylor Heineke is not playing as poorly as people think. I think we just associate because he's a backup to Ryan Fitzpatrick, who's a journeyman quarterback. We don't think he is really as good as he's been playing. But if you look at the numbers, Taylor Heineke is not why this football team is 2-2. Now, Washington's football team's defense has been bad. They're 29th ranked in the league. That needs to get better. Against a team like the Saints, I think they have a really good chance. The Saints have not been explosive on offense since week 1. I think there's a really good chance for Washington's team's defense to get its act back together. Take Washington football team with the points and what's pretty much a pick'em game. Detroit at Minnesota. Minnesota's a 7.5 point favorite. Take the Lions. The Lions might stink, but they've played everybody close. This is not a team that's getting blown out. This is not a team losing games horribly out of the game by the second quarter. They have played everyone, including Green Bay, going into the fourth quarter, extremely close. Minnesota has continuously been bad against the spread over the last 2 years, really their entirety of the time they've had Kirk Cousins. They don't win these games in the fashion that we think they should win these kind of games against teams that are clearly less talented than them. So take Detroit plus 7.5. Green Bay at Cincinnati Bengals. The Packers are favored -3. This is probably the only team, and I feel bad saying this, this is probably the only team that I think are playing clearly over their head. While I think they do have some talented pieces, obviously Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, their 3-1 is not the Packers 3-1. I think Green Bay is going to go to Cincinnati and just kind of just mop the floor with them. I've got Green Bay 38, Cincinnati 17. And our golden ticket of the week, Denver at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is a 1.5 point favorite. Teddy Bridgewater's back this week. Both of Denver's guards are back this week. Von Miller's going to play. Pat Surtain's going to play. Have you seen Ben Roethlisberger? Part of the problem Denver's defense had last week against Lamar Jackson is they could not rush as effective as they wanted to. That's because Lamar Jackson can run. He kind of has this 4-3-40 thing. Ben Roethlisberger doesn't. This is the game for Denver to go. Going to be 4-1 after this week, and with a chance to be 4-1 in a division with a 2-3 Kansas City. Kansas City is 3 points favorites against the Bills. I think I would take the Bills with the points, but not betting the mortgage on that. So that is your ticket for the week 5 of the NFL season.